Can I help you?
Why, yes, you can. I'm here to report a terrible crime.
And what terrible crime is that?
Hi Tosh, how you doing? My name is John Nguyen. I am a show animation principal at Walt Disney Imagineering, and I'm here to give you your critique today for your win at 11 Second Club. I currently am working on the ride attractions for the Walt Disney parks. My latest project that I worked on was the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Smuggler's Run attraction, where I animated the Hondo character. I've also worked on a bunch of films, visual effects and animated films. Recently TRON and a couple of Transformers films. If you'd like to find out more about me or see my work, you can go to my website. It's www.johnanimation.com. All right, let's take a look at your work. Really, really nice job. Congratulations on the win. I really like what you have going on here.
Can I help you?
Why, yes, you can. I'm here to report a terrible crime.
And what terrible crime is that?
One of the things I really like, and I noticed right off, was that you are animating the subtext in here. You're not animating literally what they're saying. You're animating something else that's part of the story, which I really like. I think it's really a really nice, very clever way to use the audio clip. And you're setting it up that she's looking for this character, this person, in the beginning, and then it turns out to be the desk guy at the police station. I think is where we are. And so really nice job, really nice setup, really clever idea on way to use it. I have a couple of notes for you, but they're all truly really very minor notes. You did a really good job with this. So I think in the beginning, I think this is really nice what you have going on with her. I think because this is all that we're seeing here, I think you can punch up her hand, right? When she draws it back, maybe you give just a little bit more of an extreme pose to it. This is actually not a good drawing, so let me fix it. Right, and then when she pushes, have it the way you do. And then when she draws it up again. It gets more of a action like this, right? You might even pull the wrist up a little bit. It just helps it to it helps us to read it a little clearer. And because this is really the only motion that's happening during this part, it'd just be nice to just punch it up just a little bit. So I like what you have going on here with her looking around, but the eye movements are nice and sharp and crisp, but the head kind of floats around like this, if you notice it.
Can I help?
So I would just make those holds that you have in the head. The holds are already there. You see, she holds here. Just a little crisper, a little sharper. Just to hold a little stronger, so that it just feels a little more nervous when those holds are a little sharper. And I think that's what you're going for. So I think that would help it a lot. It's just to make those holds a little stronger.
Can I help you?
Yeah, but you see, so that would just mean maybe getting her into them a little bit sooner. See that head turn is a little soft, just kind of slow. Just make it a little faster, get into that hold a little sooner, and hold it just a little stronger. And I think that would really help. Now this turn makes sense because he is right here when he says, "Can I help you?" And so definitely she would turn that way, right? But I don't think she would stay looking this way, off in this direction. I think she would turn again and look at him, but only seeing his back would turn the other way. So I think it would be a little clearer if you added a second turn instead of having her look. Instead of having her stay looking this way, she comes here, holds for a second, realizes he just missed the guy who said something to her. And then somewhere around here, around frame 82, turns again, just really briefly. She's like, oh, and then she turns this way to look over her shoulder. She's holding paper here. Right? And then she's trying to see him, but she can't. He's walked past. He's walked already. Oops. Already past her. And then she turns all the way back around once she realizes that she's already missed him. As for him, I like what you have going on with him. Like because you're trying to do this little misdirect and so make him play like he's a regular cop. And so you have him looking at his clipboard and flipping through the pages on it. That's nice. Very nice. A little glance at her would be just a nice change for him. So he's not in this one pose just too long. A quick glance over at her when he passes by her, I don't think will break character.
Can I help you?
Why, yes, you can.
Okay, so as she's glancing down here, I would be tempted to throw a quick glance up at him, but I think that would ruin the gag. So you don't have to do that yet. But for him, right here, once he's done looking at the paperwork, I would put his arms down here as he's walking, at least one arm down, right? He could be putting the clipboard, holding the clipboard out here, getting ready to put it on the desk as he's approaching the desk, and then have this other arm, that's the side of his body, other arm just to its side, more relaxed. I just feel it's odd that he's holding this clipboard out like this as he's walking, right? I think once he's done flipping, he would kind of drop one arm down, relax, and get ready to put the clipboard on the desk. Erase this here, right? And then put the clipboard on the desk. So as he's coming around, he's preparing. So he doesn't have to walk around with it like this. He's almost steering the clipboard onto the desk. Like he's, by the time he's here, clipboard is right here. His hand is there holding it. And he's getting ready to put it on the desk already as he's sitting. That just feels a little more natural.
Can I help you?
Why, yes, you can. I'm here to report.
Yeah, and I think you look for opportunity just to do something with his head, because it just feels a little stiff here. His head and his body are kind of holding this one pose and just kind of bobbing up and down. I mentioned giving him a little glance at her here, and that would help with his head. If you don't do it here, which I can see why you wouldn't, because he's still kind of, you want him to think that he's a police officer really focused on his work. But maybe then if you do that, give him a little glance over her here. You don't want to do it too much because, again, you don't want to give away the gag, but you kind of almost do. For a split second. You can see most of his face here. So maybe here. If he glances over at her. This might be a little more difficult because of the orientation of his body. To let him look over at her, it might be a little harder. Get him to turn. You'd have to turn his whole body. So it might be better over at the beginning.
Terrible crime.
The physics of the sit feel really nice. It really feels very natural. I feel like he's sitting in his chair. And so first here, I think to really sell the idea that he's just a cop, I think you have to have him doing something more than just sitting like this, right? Maybe look like he's shuffling some papers around or writing something, just some action here so that the audience can still maybe believe a little bit that he's a cop. So he's writing, or he's typing something on his computer or something, right? Just to set it up that he's still a cop, okay?
And what terrible crime is that? Can I help you?
Why, yes, you can. I'm here to report a terrible crime.
And what terrible crime is that?
Yeah, and then I think the timing of his looking up is good. I think what would be nice is if you gave him a little bit more of a change, especially in his eyes, right? So if you gave him a little more of a kind of a curious, surprised shape to his eyes and his eyebrows. It kind of slowly morphed into a little more angry, evil kind of surprise, kind of look. And I think it's mostly in the eyes. And kind of really push this. And that would be really nice. Right? Just give him a change. Lip sync here feels pretty good.
And what terrible crime is that?
There's a little bit when I love the expression on her face. She really feels scared or nervous.
Can I help you?
Why,
Can I help you?
why, yes.
I get a little bit of it feels a little out of sync here, her lip sync.
Can I help you?
Why, yes, you can. I'm here to report a terrible crime.
Yeah, it feels a little out of sync here. I don't know if it's my player or if it's.
Can I help you?
Why, yes, you can. I'm here to report a terrible crime.
And what terrible crime is that?
Although the back half feels like it's in sync, the front half feels. Now the thing about when she's saying yes, I don't think you need to enunciate or animate the entire syllable, a word of yes. I think you can keep those corners out for both yeses. So it's yes. So it's not yes. And you don't have to draw those corners in at the end of each yes, which kind of feels like what's happening.
Why, yes, you can. I'm here to report a terrible crime.
Can I help you?
Why, yes, you can. I'm here to report a terrible crime.
With it out of sync, it's really hard for me to say about this middle part. It feels like it's a little active. But right here, when she says, I'm here to report terrible crime. You can right here in this. I'm not sure what I'm here to report here. I don't think you hear. I'm here. This way you can do here in a couple different ways. One is the way you're doing it, drawing the corners back. I think you can also do here with more of an ooh shape. And I think when the following syllables are going to be a similar shape, your mind tends to do that. I think for here, you want to pull together corners and here to report a terrible crime instead of saying here to report and pulling the corners back like you have it here. It would be a little more of an ooh shape. So you don't have as much back and forth play in this section. So maybe a little more. This is hard to draw on this thing. I'm sorry, a little small. Or is that something? Sorry, I might be misinterpreting what you have there.
To report a terrible crime.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Right here when he says I'm here to report, the report is happening up here.
Can I help you?
Why, yes, you can. I'm here to report a
Oh, so you can there.
yes, you can. I'm here to report a terrible crime.
Kind of like what you have going on here with the mouth, how strong you punch out that report part. Unfortunately, the rest of her head is not really doing a lot this section. I think if you just give it a little more life, just report. Just give it a little head move there. it would not make that stand out so much. That feels like this part of her face is very alive and this part is less alive. So just, I think a little head move here would be really nice to help it out.
And what terrible crime is that? Can I help you?
Why, yes, yes, you can. I'm here to report a terrible crime.
And what terrible crime is that?
To report a terrible crime.
And what terrible crime is that?
And then probably the last thing I would say is her reaction at the end. I think since this is the only way we get to see her reaction, you need to make it bigger, right? You need to really draw down that anticipation here and then draw up the reaction. So if we lower her down about here, right? This is her hair, that's all we see. And then we really bring her up and overshoot here and then settle into her final pose. So it's really, and it might feel a little cartoony if you look at it from another camera angle, but from here, since this is all we see, we can really read that reaction, that level of surprise, right? So you are getting it here, that idea of her shock and surprise. It's just a little timid, so we just bring it up, okay? Overall, though, very, very nice work, very entertaining, a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this one. The look of it, the idea, all of it, I think worked really well. You did a really excellent job. Again, congratulations.